How's it going, everyone? It's JoJo's ASMR back here on the House of Champs channel. Big thanks to John Moore for having me back here. I think this is my 4th deck profile here, but you guys were asking for an updated list. I just came back about 2 minutes ago from the Penrith regionals we had here in Australia. I ended up coming 2nd place, going X1 with Altergeist. You guys know I've been playing this deck for the longest time ever, since its inception here in the TCG. I topped nationals with this deck. I've played it at States and Nats. And today we came 2nd with it at a 100-man regional. It's nothing too special, but you guys were wanting an updated list, so John Moore was very nice to have me back. So let's get right into it. We played the stock standard 12-card Altergeist engine, 3 Marionetto, 3 Meluseek, 3 Multifaker, the 2 birds, and the 1 horse. This is stock standard. Maybe this list will change post-ban list if they decide to hit any of these monsters, but until then, that's the 12-card monster engine. I believe that's stock standard, I don't know. Anyway, into the hand traps. So it was interesting. Before I was going to be playing way more hand traps than just Ash, but I ended up just sticking to Ash because at the event it seemed like tons of people were playing Sky Striker and the Mirror, and a lot of the hand traps aren't very good against those decks. So we decided to last minute just to play 3 Ash. I decided if I was going to play against the Danger Dark World FDK that we would just side into that, because originally I was playing on top of this like 2 Reaper, 2 Bell, or even like 3 Reaper, 3 Droll. Like, it was pretty hectic, but I decided last minute to just cut it down, and if we get those unlucky matchups, then it happens. Those were all the monsters. Into the spells, we played 3 Village. This card is just so ignorant against the Sky Striker matchup. You literally can't win against Sky Striker. Like, they always out-resource you, they always win in the grind. You literally have to just like win with cheesy, degenerate cards like Village to just stop them from activating spell cards. That's why hand traps aren't very good, is because they're actually a -1. It's like, who cares if they search something if you can just activate Village and they can't use it anyway. So that's why we played 3 Village. We played 2 Desires and an Upstart. This is incorrect. You definitely play probably 3 Desires. It lets you draw 2 cards, but funny story, I wasn't playing Imperial Order in my deck because I forgot to write it on my deck list, so obviously this card would be Imperial Order. So yeah, we played the regionals without Order, but it seemed to do fine. Yeah, this card would definitely be Order. The last spell we played was 1-for-1. This card's fantastic, except it's not very good if you're only playing 3 monster hand traps. I found when I was playing like 3 Reapers on top of this, then 1-for-1 was just always live. But I think it's only really effective if you're playing at least 18 monsters in your main deck, because this card will then always be able to tutor out a Meluseek. For the Altergeist traps, this is stock standard, the protocols, the manifestations, and the personal spoofings. You could play this at 1, but I've been really enjoying it at 2. I used to play it at 1, but I think it's incorrect. We played 3 Impermanents. Obviously great with Multifaker. For a Solemn package, we only played 4 Solemns instead of the 5. This is because we were playing Trap Trick in our side deck, and you want to minimize the amount of counter traps you have, as they kind of conflict with Trap Trick's restrictions. And then for our last traps, we played 2 Metaverse and 2 Heavy Storm Duster. Originally, these were in the side because of how it interacts with Trap Trick, and we were siding this as well, but as I said, it seemed like a lot of people were playing Striker, and I was correct. So I just expected to main for the Mirror and for Striker. I hate playing 2 obs, but because we play Trap Trick, you can actually afford that. So we'll get straight into the side. The extra deck's kind of irrelevant. We sided for the FDK. This is what we only sided if we were playing against the FDK, nothing else. Hand traps are just bad against everything except the FDK. So 2 Droll, 3 Reaper. And then my favorite card of the day, definitely the MVP, triple Trap Trick, 2 Barriers, and 2 Mind Crush. So the thing with Trap Trick is that it just takes Altergeist to a whole new level. I was very skeptical about this card, but then when I saw the guy that topped Pasadena playing Trap Trick in his side and like a bunch of normal traps, I thought, why not, I'll give it a try. And it was just fantastic. Like, this card, if you're playing Altergeist, you just have to try it out. I thought it was only good in Paleozoic, but I tried it. it's fantastic. The fact you can tutor out any normal trap card given the matchup is just ridiculous. And the fact is that this card just takes deck building for trap decks in a whole new direction, because usually you play 3 of something if it's not searchable, but because you now have 3 Trap Trick to just search any trap card, you can afford to play two of the same trap card, effectively like lowering that so you can have a higher ceiling. So you can play a bunch of 2 of normal trap cards that are all searchable now instead of playing 3 of the same ones, which is very, very interesting, and it takes deck building in a whole new direction for trap decks. So I found this card to be phenomenal. You're playing 8 copies of Village post side, you're playing 5 copies of Barrier, 5 copies of Mind Crush, 5 copies of Heavy Storm Duster. This card is phenomenal, and I definitely think people are going to be playing this once they realize how powerful it is. And then finally we played R3 Evenly. Powerful card, enough said. I resolved this so many times with Multi-Faker in the whole tournament. The extra decks are relevant. It's really just Hexia and Link Karibo. The rest doesn't really matter. We played Phoenix, it's just a big body. This to out Inspector Border, the Wee Witch, and then our Borrelord and Borrel Sword. And then Ningirsu for the non-targetable removal. And then just a bunch of Cherries targets. We never really used any of these. I wanted to respect Dante though, and Toad. We never resolve Cherries. Like, you never side Cherries against Sky Striker if you're playing Altergeist. It's not very good. And then shout out to the Seal of Orichalcos. So my matchups were the Mirror round 1, it was a 2-0. Then against Spiral, it was a 2-0. And then we played against 4 Sky Strikers. 2 of them were 2-0s. We 2-1'd another guy. He resolved There Can Only Be One, which is this deck's worst nightmare, so I was beating him down with a Multi-Faker for about 8 turns, and then when he drew the Pankratops to out my village, I just flipped Judgment. And then the last match was against Yahweh, who played the Dark World Danger FTK, and we ended the day off with Impermanence Multi-Faker. It was a great way to end the day, but we ended up coming second. The guy we lost to actually ended up winning the whole regionals, so good for him. And that's gonna wrap up this deck profile. Yeah, I think Trap Trick is definitely fantastic, and it's going to be taking deck building for not only trap decks, but just Altergeist in a whole new direction. So give it a shot, and thanks again to John for having me on, and we'll see you next time. Shout outs to Peter, Poe, Corey, Lachlan, Nathan, Gaddis, Team Nesquik, OG Sock, and John Yu, obviously. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you later.